Hello, and welcome back to Steel Rising. So last time I finally ran into Cagliostro, like, in person, and I kind of managed to uh, not exactly discover where he was running to because he ran away again. But I did kind of catch up to him, at least stop, I guess, some of his creations of more automats. Of course, he managed to run away still, which was a bummer. But managed to get some information. Found out that there was someone who taught him how to make the automats, which I always thought that it was Valkason who created the automats, but maybe that's not the case. But now I'm trying to find this Joseph Balsamo's workshop, and I am lost. Where am I going? Here we go. Nope, it's a dead end. Where am I? Where am I going? There we go. That's where I'm going. Might as well just rest on this and reset all of those enemies. Fine. Good. There we go. Come through here. Saint Honore. Yep. Okay. Ow, dude. Stop. Why? Why must you do this? Okay. Damn, dude. Down to the workshop. Okay. I didn't think the workshop would be through the sewers. Ow! Dude, really? Stop! What are you doing? Okay, I'm just gonna run through this whole thing. Take barrettes. There. Nope. There we go. Saint Honore. I remember being here. Yeah! This place. This is where I couldn't get to. And now I've got a key. Yes, I do. Lovely. Okay. Nicholas Flamel's final journey. Right.
Balsamo. So
Balsamo?
that is the name that the Comte de Cagliostro uses to conduct his business discreetly.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. An official document, I, Louis, King of France and Navarre, by the grace of God, permit Monsieur Giuseppe Balsamo, alias Joseph Balsamo, born in Palermo on the 2nd of June in the year 1743, to use the name and title of Alexandre, Comte de Cagliostro, with full rights and in all circumstances. Okay. Let's have a look back at the journal and notes. Got Landrum, Suzanne, Resignation, Ancient Parchment, Ambrose and Roland. Okay, no, so it's not him. Yeah, it's one of these coffins that he kept stuffing people in.
This notebook appears to be very old. I should show it to Abbe Gregoire.
Yep, Latin manuscript. Only a scholar who is well versed in ancient tongues could decipher this ancient document. Yeah. And another one. Monsieur le Comte, I regret the unforeseen difficulty of which you have informed me. If we do not put an end to it soon, the smooth running of our operations could be impeded. If, as you claim, the dancer has indeed left Saint-Cloud for Paris, if she is attacking our machines with the facility you describe, I demand that you discover as soon as possible the nature of the malfunction that allows her to ignore the orders she was given and learn why she has turned against us. try not to lose my trust, Louis. So this was pretty recently then that this letter was sent, because yeah, obviously I only left St. Cloud. I don't know when exactly. I assume it was like maybe a couple of days ago. 1,000 cut claws. Bismuth block and a carriage. Okay, 1,000 cuts. What are the Blade Storm as well? Blade Tornado, Blade Storm. Okay. That looks very similar. Oh, interesting. It's a dash. It's a forward dash. Okay. Can I do it in the air? I can't. It cannot be used in the air. That's... I still don't really like the claw attacks themselves. The attacks themselves feel rubbish. So I'm still gonna hold on to the fans. Jump through here. Is there anything? Yes, there is. So this was where that NPC was complaining about all the noise and the screams and everything was happening. And the reason why is because it was Cagliostro, the motherfucker. He was just like murdering people and turning them into robots. So it makes sense why they really thought this place was creepy, because it was super creepy. Alright, well, I'm glad I've got that mystery sorted. I wonder if these NPCs will talk to me again. No, they will not. Was there anything else here? Nope. Okay. In that case, carriage token. Let's put it there instead. Yeah, I'm just gonna use it. That's fine. Come back to the key. There's nothing else in the Tuileries. Nothing in Invalides. Nothing in the city. Luxembourg it is. Okay. Straight over to Luxembourg. And then I've got to talk to like 12 different NPCs, which is going to take ages, actually. It's going to be a long time of talking to many different NPCs about many different things. But that should be fine. Do I have anything else? I've got all of that up there. And nothing else. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Back into the convent. Who do I want to talk to first? Mirabeau is back, which is good. And you know what? I'm going to talk to Mirabeau first. This asshole who destroyed my chance at doing all of the quests.
Monsieur de Mirabeau.
Yeah. Whatever. Bishop's refusal.
Alas, the bishop stubbornly refused to reveal anything.
Damn it. I need to know what my rogue of a father is up to. Let me think. In light of the cartload of threats he sent me, it's safe to wager that my sister and mother received similar letters. They may even have already suffered his revenge. However, my sister lives in Grasse in the south of France. Unless a messenger rode 100 horses to death, she could not have received this letter. Then there is my poor mother.
If
Where
you
does she
ask me,
live?
I will go to find her.
Yes, it's very kind of you to offer. But I couldn't even tell you where she is staying.
Your
Well, you don't
own
know.
mother.
Indeed. It's a very embarrassing matter. A secret, which I beg you not to divulge.
I can be discreet. Rest assured.
Very well. You should know that my mother, the Countess of Covey, has lost everything. Truly. First, her fortune, then her faculties.
Does she
No
have
matter what I
dementia?
tried, nothing could prevent her decline.
Alzheimer's?
It is said that she is now living on charity, in the most abject poverty in the slums of the Marais. If perchance your past takes you to this dreadful place, and if she still remembers who she is, perhaps you may meet her.
Mirabeau, you suck, dude. You are the worst. Like, I thought Robespierre was a dick, but you suck. Like, You're the
Have you
worst,
found
dude.
my mother?
No,
No.
I haven't. I
Remember,
haven't even left.
rumor has it.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about Franciscus.
I found a broken cane. It says Franciscus Antonius on it. Do you know who it belongs to?
Of course he
Well,
does.
I never.
Yeah.
Yes, I know the
course you do.
owner. And I'm willing to bet you're looking for a certain Francois Antoine.
Everyone
That's
has been
right.
saying that.
Well,
but
you'd need to
who
look a
is
little
he?
further east, mademoiselle. Across the Rhine for a start. Because this cane belongs, or belonged, to a certain Franz Anton Mesmer.
Yeah, Mesmer. I remember
Mesmer,
that name.
the prince of charlatans.
Good heavens. It's been a long time since I've heard his name.
5 years to be exact since your learned commission denounced his theories.
It wasn't long after that when he disappeared.
Can you
Okay.
tell me more about Mesmer?
He was a mystical healer who was once popular with the upper class. I myself attended several of his sessions.
Alright. The
You
Learned
mentioned
Commission.
a commission.
The king did not look kindly on the healer's popularity within the court. This led him to appoint a commission from the Royal Academy of Sciences.
An institution to which Monsieur Bailly and I have the honor to belong. We were asked to investigate his alleged powers.
The experiments that we performed allowed us to determine that Monsieur Mesmer's activities were pure charlatanism, a conclusion that destroyed his successful career the moment it was published.
But there was something, Sylvain. A tiny flow of energy that my devices were able to measure.
My dear colleague, must I remind you again that we were never able to reproduce your observations? It was obviously a momentary failure of your equipment.
Perhaps. I'd like to be sure of it.
I mean, considering that we now have robots that can, like, see the past, like Aegis, because I can touch an item and just see the memories of people. Also, there are robots that literally live off of human souls. I feel like maybe he wasn't a charlatan. Maybe he was just ahead of the time, ahead of the curve. Yeah, maybe.
When and how did Monsieur Mesmer disappear?
The denunciation of his techniques was the start of a long descent into hell for Monsieur Mesmer. He was abandoned by his clients and resumed his research in virtual secrecy.
Of course.
I think he was hoping to perfect his so-called science and restore his reputation with the Academy.
A hope that led him to associate himself with that dastardly Cagliostro. God only knows what experiments they may have carried out. In any case, their collaboration did not last
Okay,
long.
well, that's
Monsieur Mesmer
better.
left the kingdom overnight to return to his mother country.
Why did he leave so quickly?
That is a mystery. But those who saw him that morning say it was as if he had the devil at his heels.
Probably because
This is true.
Cagliostro
He
was
left in
trying
such a hurry that he abandoned everything he owned. Furniture, belongings, and scientific equipment. And it seems that Cagliostro has inherited this treasure.
Is that so? Well, if what you say is true, that broken cane must have passed into the Count's hands.
Oh,
Yes, it's likely.
This
Interesting.
adventurer from who knows where is quite the mysterious character. And he has been very busy recently. I've been able
Yeah.
to observe him from my apartments, making frequent visits to Rue Saint-Honoré on the
Wait,
Tuileries
Cagliostro
side.
or
I
Mesmer?
wonder what he was doing there.
I assume you mean Mesmer.
What were Monsieur Mesmer's theories?
He is a proponent of a theory called animal magnetism. He
okay.
claimed to be able to channel a purported universal healing fluid by passing his
Oh,
hands
jeez,
over patients and using magnets.
He also cobbled together a whole array of mad devices, each stranger than the last. Unfortunately, despite all his attempts, I don't know that he ever cured anyone.
I mean, animal magnetism. I didn't think that that it would be like with actual magnets. Yeah, no, that sounds rubbish. I mean, I was talking all this shit about how, oh, maybe he was just, misunderstood, and maybe his theories were ahead of the time, because now we've got robots that like can see memories and live off of human souls, and now that it's talking about using magnets to do something, maybe his ideas were just rubbish. So, yeah.
What happened during Monsieur Mesmer's treatment sessions?
Oh, they were quite a spectacle to behold. Imagine well-born ladies afflicted with perfectly imaginary illnesses. A dimly lit room where incense has been burned to intoxicate the soul. and cloud your vision. Amiable servants, half-dressed, gliding from countess to duchess to the sound of a sensual melody. And the great Mesmer, a doctor with wandering hands, presiding over the wonderful scene. Oh, you should have seen them. Those grand ladies moaning, crying, and falling into a swoon, clinging to that strange tub.
Strange
du
tub.
théâtre, ma chère. Pure theatre.
What is the strange tub? Like, not a bathtub, obviously. But what else was it?
Have you
Alright,
found my
Mirabeau.
mother?
No.
Remember.
No, leave it at
Goodbye.
that. It's fine. Okay, Robespierre.
So how is Monsieur Marat?
I haven't.
I haven't seen him. I've already done.
Is your plan to arm the populace going as planned?
Oh, far from it, madame. The situation is hopeless. Even if they were armed and formed into battalions, the Patriots would not be able to fight.
Why is that?
Most of the strategic points in the city are inaccessible. A strange illness strikes all who try.
an illness?
They are seized
That's
by an irrational
weird.
fear. One so great that those who do not lose consciousness go mad or perish on the spot.
Okay.
This makes it impossible to do anything. Any attempt at an uprising is a fool's errand.
The locations you mentioned share a common feature. A statue holding a lantern.
That's right.
Oh,
From what little I could make out, they appear to be depictions of a Vestal Virgin watching over the sacred fire.
Une lanterne des morts.
What do you mean, monsieur?
Lanterns of the dead. Ancient stone pillars that are found near some cemeteries. Our ancestors kept a fire going on top of them. Today, no one knows what they were used for. A symbol of light triumphing over darkness, perhaps? Others claim that human bones, mercury and lime, were burnt there. Some odious sorcery that was meant to entrap the tormented souls that wandered around the burial grounds.
That makes sense and confirms my observations. I am now certain that the King's lanterns capture the anima essence of the dead who have been cast into purgatory, and that this essence is what allows the automats to stay in motion, without needing a key to wind them.
Pater noster quies in celis sanctificetur nomen tuum.
Now that I think about it, madame, you obviously are not subject to the harmful effects of these lanterns.
well,
No,
if it's
au
using.
contraire. When activated,
Yeah,
these statues reveal an apparatus that allows me to repair
yeah,
myself.
exactly. Literally
It
the
follows
opposite.
that if you destroy these lanterns, the people will be free to fight again.
Unfortunately, they are preternaturally strong. Nothing can so much as damage them.
Come now, no metal is indestructible. If we knew what these lanterns were made of, perhaps I could find a way to destroy them.
Take a look at this ledger,
Perhaps.
Monsieur Lavoisier. It contains a list of metals. I found it by the factories, near Vaucanson's workshop.
Let's see. Steel, molybdenum, very good. Tiens, donc, tungsten and zirconium. This master blacksmith knows his trade. These metals can be used to make the strongest alloy imaginable, as long as you have a fortune to invest.
For that, our clockwork tyrant knows no bounds.
Well, Monsieur Lavoisier, is there any way to break this alloy?
Break it? Certainly not. But a mineral acid could change its structure. Melt it, perhaps. I would recommend sulfuric acid, or vitriol,
classic.
if you prefer to use its common name.
Is
Where can I
vitriol
obtain
common
some
name?
vitriol?
I had some, but my laboratory at L'Arsenal was ransacked. I can't tell you any more than that. You should ask my colleague, Monsieur Bailly. He uses similar substances in his research.
I mean, sulfuric acid. That's a classic that we use, of course, to just melt anything and everything. How am I going to transport it enough to destroy a bunch of Vestals? Like, it's not like I can just use a drop or two. You have to use, like, heaps of it to destroy, like, a full cage. And, like, not just one, but multiple. Like, do you just have that much just sitting around? Why can't I talk to you? That, dude, what?
Have you
No.
Okay,
Goodbye,
leave
Miss.
it at that. Alright, I guess I've got nothing more to talk to you about. Whatever. Let's
Monsieur
talk to you.
Lavoisier.
What can I do for you,
Lavoisier.
Aegis?
The
The
gunpowder.
clues I found at the warehouse suggest.
Diable.
Move to the Bastille. I already did that.
Where can I obtain some
Vitriol.
vitriol?
I had some, but my laboratory at L'Arsenal was ransacked. I can't tell you.
Yep.
You should ask. He uses.
Bailey.
Goodbye.
That's fine. Bailey.
Did you find out what Cagliostro was up to near the
I
Tuileries?
did.
No, not yet.
Did I
Remember
not?
what Monsieur de Mirabeau told us?
Oh, okay.
He said the Count looked extremely busy near the Tuileries.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, I'll
Would
do
you
that
happen
in
to
a minute.
know where I could find some vitriol?
Sulfuric acid? Of course. Combined with sea salt and green copperas, we use it to polish the lenses of our telescopes. But I don't know how much we have. You would need to go to the Louvre and take a look at the observatory's storeroom to find out.
I
If
can
you
do
will
that.
allow me to.
Of course, madame. Here is the key.
Thanks. Is that what the chest is? Maybe.
I have not yet found.
As I said,
Goodbye.
I doubt that it's the chest that I'm thinking of. It's probably something else. Julian. Raymond.
Monsieur Raymond.
Go on, Aegis.
Yep. So... Have I...
What is the aim of this organization?
We publish articles and exert our influence on those who are in a position to improve the lot of our unfortunate brethren. Our numbers grow by the day, and we have many illustrious members, such as the Comte de Mirabeau and the Marquis de Lafayette. But it was Monsieur Brissot and the abbot that founded the group.
Good old Brissot. Shouldn't he be here by now?
Yes, mon père. He should have arrived hours ago. Alas, there has been no sign of him.
I hope to God that no misfortune has
He's
befallen him.
probably dead then.
What fate does the kingdom reserve for those with black skin?
According to tradition, any enslaved person who sets foot on French soil is freed.
This rule is most problematic in the eyes of planters in the colonies, who would seek to maintain their precious labor force.
This is why, for the past 12 years, no black people have been allowed to disembark in any of the kingdom's
shit,
ports.
okay.
Those who accompany their masters on the journey are imprisoned in the Admiralty's jails the moment they leave the ship. As for those who manage to evade the authorities, they live in fear of the raids carried out by the Marshalsea.
Are you not subject to these laws, Monsieur Raymond?
I am fortunate enough to have been born a subject of the king through my father, and also to have received an education, and to be wealthy.
Naturally, that makes all the difference.
Yep. Jeez. So, technically slaves don't exist, but they still definitely exist. Like, they still 100% exist. It's just that, you know, on paper. Yeah.
You are quite a long way from home, Monsieur Raymond.
I haven't been back to Saint-Domingue in nearly 5 years. I left my most trusted men in charge of overseeing my indigo plantation. I came to France with the aim of having an audience with the king. I hoped to convince him to use his automats for agricultural work. I was of the belief that this was the best way to ease the suffering of our enslaved brethren. Alas, it was all for naught. I was only able to get an audience with the Minister of the Navy, and even that was granted reluctantly. Later, when the king convened the Estates General, my hopes were renewed. I saw it as an opportunity to make our voices heard. And then, mon Dieu, what a disaster, Aegis. What a complete disaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to the Hotel de Massiac as agreed. What I discovered goes beyond your darkest conjectures. The club's members have no intention of merely depriving their slaves of rest. Rather, with the king's support, they plan to replace them with automat harvesters. The Count of Cagliostro is behind the plan.
Ma foi. But such a plan would certainly only improve the lot of these unfortunate people.
No,
You are mistaken,
no,
mon
it
père.
won't.
If the planters get their way, they will have a greater need of slaves than ever. Only this time, they intend to slaughter them to power their
Yeah.
machines.
It's just straight up death.
Abomination.
Par tous les saints.
4 days
Turned
ago,
into...
the Paris Guard captured 100 black people. They were to be sacrificed as part of an experiment to test the effectiveness of the automat harvesters. Luckily, I was able to prevent the massacre.
Where are they now?
In a place they call the Dépôt des Noirs. I don't know where it is, but I managed to get the key. It bears the inscription, Tour du Diable.
The Devil's Tower. is a prison in Vincennes, within the chateau walls.
That's 3 leagues from here. We'll only be able to free the prisoners once we're able to move freely ourselves.
At least they were spared the fate that the king and his accomplices had planned for them.
And what will you do with the 2 servants you employ, Monsieur Raymond?
I will continue to treat them well, as I always have.
However, under the laws you insist on following, they will become slaves again the moment they leave the kingdom for Saint-Domingue.
Certainly not, Monsieur de Robespierre. What kind of a man would I be if what I have heard had not opened my eyes? The planters of Massiac have been proven to be nothing but avaricious murderers. I thought I was dealing with opposition, but now I discover them to be vile enemies, from whom it would be vain to expect any compromise. From this day on, I will fight against their interests with all my strength, and will not lay down my arms until the last slave in the Empire has been freed.
Rest assured, then, that the people will fight by your side, Monsieur Raymond.
That's the spirit, my friends. Vive l'égalité.
Okay. Man, that's fucking heavy. Like, not just trying to use them as slaves and feeding them drugs in order to get them to work longer hours, but just like straight up stripping them of their body and turning them, their soul into an eternal machine. Just force them to work for potentially forever.
Monseigneur,
What a fucking
What can I do
heavy
for you, Aegis?
situation.
goodbye.
Allez en paix.
Raymond, do you have
Monsieur
any other
Raymond.
quests?
Go.
Or... No, I've already talked to you about that.
See,
Jeez. Alright, Abbe Gregoire.
Can I help you, Aegis?
Maybe. This
I
notebook.
found this notebook written in Latin.
Indeed. Medieval Latin, to be precise. Oh, hold on. Bon sang. Aegis, what a find. This handwriting. I would recognize it anywhere. It's in Nicholas Flamel's own hand. Give me some time to study this, and I'll tell you what I'm able to glean from it.
Okay, that's
Have
fine.
you finished reading the notebook?
Oh, that
mon
was quick.
père?
Yes, Aegis, and what I learned from it puzzles me. In this diary, Flamel tells of 3 journeys. 3 journeys into what he calls the in-between. A strange world filled with wandering souls. Tormented spirits that are unable to ascend to heaven.
This world. It's where Cagliostro's victims were trapped until I freed them.
En effet, I believe you're right. But that's not all. Flamel planned to return there a 4th time. He wrote this in the final paragraph, in his handwriting, dated 21st of March 1418. That was the day before he died, Aegis. What if his body died while his soul was traveling through limbo? What if he were trapped, a prisoner in this purgatory? Aegis, because of your unique nature, we have an incredible opportunity.
What do you mean, mon père?
If the soul that animates you has been bound to the automaton that serves as its vessel, then it can be separated from it too. And if this were the case, the soul would travel to purgatory, where Cagliostro entraps the souls of his victims.
Hold on. Are you trying to convince me to go and find Nicholas Flamel?
I'm offering you a chance to speak to the man who discovered the Philosopher's Stone. Surely you won't pass it up.
Assuming I agree to venture into purgatory, do I even have a chance of finding him there?
Certainly. According to this journal, the soul flies to the zenith of the place where it left the body of the deceased. Or that of the pilgrim, in this case. If Flamel's soul is trapped in purgatory, as we've guessed, you'll need to go to the house where he drew his dying breath.
Is it still standing?
Of course. It's on Rue de Montmorency, in the quartier de l'Hôtel de Ville. You can get there via the cemetery of the Église Saint-Jacques.
And how do you plan to free my spirit from this automat?
We would simply need to break the bond between them. To do this, we would need to stop your machinery. For a short time, of course. We don't want to lose you, ma chère. As for the rest, it will be a question of mechanics, chemistry, or electric currents, or something or other. Therein lies the problem. This is far beyond my comprehension. But it is fascinating, isn't it? Perhaps Monsieur Bailly
Yeah,
and
it
Monsieur
is, actually.
Lavoisier could shed some light on the matter.
So, I mean, because I kind of did a sequence skip by accident and went there already,
Goodbye,
I know
mon
that this is
père.
all correct, that Nicholas Flamel's soul is still there. Whoops. But, yeah, I know that he's still there, just waiting
Monsieur
for me
le
to talk.
Marquis,
I'm listening, Aegis.
goodbye.
Leave it at that. Hey there, Necker.
Monsieur Necker,
Madame? Eh bien, do you come bearing good
I
news?
do. Let's do the
I
bonds
found your bonds.
first.
here they are.
I don't give a fig about those bits of paper.
Oh.
I'm satisfied in knowing that they will not serve the king's purposes.
Oh, that's fine.
All I care about is learning what has happened to my wife.
Well, Suzanne
You may
is
rest
safe and
easy,
sound.
monsieur. Your wife
Apparently.
escaped the massacre. She returned home and left you this letter.
Mon Dieu. She's going to meet our daughter and son-in-law at our charity hospital.
She may already be there.
Madame, I did not dare to dream of such an outcome. My wife and daughter. Can you imagine? And I thought I had lost both of them. The three of us will be able to leave the kingdom and put these horrors behind us forever.
What about the bonds?
Oh, the bonds. Do with them as you see fit. As long as the king does not use them.
Alright,
As
I
for
wanna
me, I'm
just
going to
set
find
them
my
on
family
fire,
at once.
I guess.
Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. I pray that your efforts will be successful. Adieu, madame. Adieu.
Minister Necker has given his bonds to me.
That's quite a nice little sum. Can you imagine? That's 1/5 of the kingdom's
Oh my God.
entire wealth.
What?
Wealth
A
that the
fifth?
king squanders for his personal benefit according to his whim.
Holy shit.
Ma foi.
Monsieur Necker certainly has been very generous to his adoptive country.
Generous? I have my doubts. The loan was granted at a very high rate. So high, in fact, that it would have dug the deficit into an even deeper state of abyss.
Eh bien, monsieur. To what use shall we employ this boonful fortune?
Send me
If I
some
could
money.
spend it, I'd do
I don't
everything I
think, like,
could to return to the
400
people their
years.
confiscated freedom. To begin, I would get them the bread they so sorely need. It is only after the scourge of famine has been vanquished that armed patriots might then be able to rise up against despotism.
And where will you find wheat, Robespierre?
Yeah.
Will you steal it from under the noses of the automats who have sworn to destroy the human race? As for arming the people, this is another one of your delusions. How could your ragged pack of wretches win any sort of battle that'd be unable to lift a sword?
When you insult the people, you insult me, Monsieur de Lafayette.
I am not insulting anyone, Robespierre. But I happen to know what it takes to fight. Unlike you. Monsieur, I was but a lad of 15 when I took up arms. And everyone here knows my role in the liberation of America from British rule. If you allow me to dispose of these bonds, I will found an army that will annihilate the Clockwork King's diabolical machines. As soon as I have the opportunity to leave Paris, I will rally the officers and troops that are stationed in the provinces. Then, I will call for a mass uprising. I will have more than enough money to pay their wages and procure the weapons we need.
And you will have obedient troops at your beck and call, ready to repress anyone who challenges your power.
These troops will only serve the will of the people. I swear it.
Are you sure that the king has spared the rest of the kingdom, Monsieur le Marquis?
I am almost certain of it, mon père. Despite all of his resources, the king does not have enough manpower to occupy all the garrisons in the country.
Aegis, no member of this assembly can force your hand. The choice is yours. To whom will you entrust Monsieur Necker's bonds?
Jesus Christ. Another choice. Do I make an army or do I make food? Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, Lafayette's got a really good point in that there's automats all over the place. So, if you make an army, then you can destroy the automats. You can destroy the automats and then get food, like, safely. Whereas if you just have money, you can't pay the automats for food. So how are you going to get food? You've got weak, like, civilians and citizens and militia who have no weapons and no food. So they're starving and hungry. Or I'm just going to go for Robespierre and then hopefully he gets food. Because, like, the people are going to die of starvation first before they die of the robots, right? Maybe. I don't... It probably doesn't matter. But yeah, Robespierre,
Maximilien
get
de
some food.
Robespierre. I have chosen to entrust this fortune to you.
Very well,
Get
madame.
the people some food.
I promise that I will use it for one purpose only. Freedom
Yeah.
for the people and by the people. When a monarch violates the people's most fundamental rights, insurrection is their most sacred and indispensable duty. But we must be wary of warmongers, who claim to defend our happiness.
Bon sang, am I the only one who is weary of hearing these tiresome monologues?
For they wish only to silence us, and take their own turn at playing tyrant.
Congratulations, Aegis. You've chosen a speechifier as Commander-in-Chief. I am sure the king will be delighted to hear this. He need not fear for his throne now.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Oh well, that's not really my problem, I guess. In any case, that's a lot of stuff that I've gone through. It's probably a good place to leave it off for now. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. Bye.